Hey guys, so in today's video I want to talk to you a little bit about how I use movies for language learnings, for language acquisition, and more importantly, how do I get the input out of it to learn and improve. So I use movies for two different languages mainly, that being Korean, which I'm a lot more advanced in, and then in Vietnamese, which I'm still a beginner in. So I'm going to talk about how I learn at the different levels, what I've been doing to adapt to each circumstance, because when you're learning with a movie, it really depends on where your level is already at.
It used to be in the past when I was studying other languages like Portuguese, for example, through watching a movie, I would take notes of every single word I didn't know. But then the thing that happens during that is, well, two things. One, you don't get very far through the movie. It's incredibly slow. Also, you stop trying to learn, just figure out what's going on by observing. Rather, you're so concentrated on what the word is that you need to understand. And then in addition to that, it's not fun anymore. And I think one of the key things for watching movies in a foreign language is it should be fun. Dr. Stephen Krashen, the one who I mentioned in a previous video, he talks about language acquisition. He talks about you want to try to get content to study that you find so interesting, you forget it's in another language. You're just so engaged in it that you're just wanting to continue to learn because you want to know what's going to happen next in the story or the dialogue, whatever it is. And that's how you should get to a point with using a movie too, is you're just so interested in the movie and what you're watching. Yes, you are learning you're learning a foreign language while you're doing it, but you're so much more interested in what's going on than in the foreign language.
The way I study Vietnamese is different because I'm a complete beginner in Vietnamese still. And so what I usually am doing, well, for right now anyway, is I watch it first in English, so it's like a Vietnamese drama, and then I watch it one time in English, or with English subtitles at least, just so I can understand what's going on. And then I watch it a second time, still with Vietnamese dialogue, but then also Vietnamese subtitles as well. And then I'm sitting there and I'm trying to recognize words I've already studied and trying to get an idea of the context that they're used in. Because I already understand what's going on in there because I've seen it one time in English, and then I'm actually just watching where the words are at, it does help me to kind of recognize, oh, like I know what they're talking about right here because they used the word for like in this particular situation. But it's still very much, it is a struggle for me still, because it's like, oh, I just want to understand more. But there are some things that click really easily. Like in English, for the subtitles, there was one scene where a woman was talking to another and she's like, do you got it? And then the other one was like, okay. That was what the subtitle said. But when I heard it in Vietnamese, it was em hiểu, which means like, I understand instead. So there's always that difference too between how it's all structured, between how they just translate it versus what's actually being said.
But for learning Korean, I usually go to a website called viki.com, and they actually have different Korean dramas as well as TV shows for Japan and China as well. So if you're learning Mandarin or Japanese, you could definitely use this website as well. And I just go on there usually and I pick a movie to watch, and I still often watch it with Korean subtitles just so that when I see words that I don't know, I can recognize what they are. If I don't usually though try to look them up, the best thing I found to do is just to continue to watch it and see if I can again understand the meaning of the word based off the context. Occasionally I run into a word that I don't know and it seems to be a key word in the conversation to understand what's going on. And in that case, I'll usually look it up. Once I've actually found those and I've decided what it is that I'm missing, then I usually look it up on my phone. There is a great translation app called Papago for translating Korean. If you are learning Korean, by the way, I highly recommend it. It's a game changer. And I look it up usually, I take a screenshot of what the meaning is, and then later on, I make a flashcard in my phone for it through Anki. And again, if you have never used Anki before, I highly recommend that. I'll probably be making a video later on in the series about Anki flashcards and how to use them. I really love them a lot. So that's how I study Korean. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If this gave you any ideas about maybe using movies in your own language learning, I hope it helped. If you have any questions, let me know. You can send me a message. This is just the way I've come to study movies over time, the things I've learned from, I wouldn't say past mistakes, but a learning curve through watching movies and kind of the things I've had to learn about using it for language learning. All right, hope you have a good one.